Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought with emotion, passion, honesty, your comments, as well as mine. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, before we get into this is going to be an electric, engaging show, guys. I just got a feeling you guys are going to be all over this one, which is fantastic. Before we get into that, I just want to say I hope each and every one of you had a wonderful and Merry Christmas, as well as a safe Christmas. I hope everyone was healthy and just really enjoyed the time with family, friends, or whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, whatever that Christmas celebration was. I'm just hope each and every one of you had a really, really Merry Christmas. Now, this is the very last Broncos Breakdown show for 2023. Okay, for 2023. I'm not going anywhere, guys. But the very, very last show of Broncos Breakdown 2023. We will be doing the neighborhood. Madungus Creevy and myself this Sunday against the Chargers. We'll get into some of that. And then I'll be doing my Elevation Orange on Monday. But this is the last Broncos Breakdown show of 2023. It's been fun, guys. It's been a blast. Too bad the Broncos season hadn't turned out the way we wanted, but we'll get into all of that going forward. That is definitely for sure. All right. Let's see. Okay, so Just Keep Punching has chimed in on the chat, and we're going to get into this topic as well. But I want to bring up what he said. He said, no one cares about Rusell Wilson hitting his crying in the locker room, causing drama. Get him out of there. The Broncos has got to worry about winning the game. I agree. But we'll get into all of those specifics. We'll get into some of those things. I'll bring in my comments. I really welcome each and every one of yours. I'll pull up different ones that I feel is worthy of being pulled up. Some people come in here with some negative stuff, and I don't have any problem with negative stuff. Just keep it clean, and that kind of thing, and we'll just have a great time, guys. All right. Let's see. So, Just Keep Punching says, Bill, it looks like Big E Bronco was right about Russell Wilson, and Mike was crying around and keeping him. I understand where you guys have come from, and I'm not gonna. Everybody has their own opinion. Okay, everybody does have their own opinion. I mean, myself, I was elated to get Nathaniel Hackett because I thought we were going to do better. That didn't work out. I was elated about getting Rusell Wilson because I know he's a proven winner, and he didn't work out with Hackett. And then I relished the fact that he'd be working with Sean Payton. But Rusell Wilson, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to get into all of that here in a bit. But I understand what you're saying, JKP. But I'm just saying that we all have our different opinions, and I wanted Rusell Wilson to work out as well. I really thought it was going to happen. But we'll get into that. He's not gone yet, guys. He's not gone yet. So we'll just go from there. All right. Spence GC says, hey, Bill, I'm actually happy that Wilson's time has come to an end. Denver's not a town for prima donnas. All right, guys, we're going to get into this right now because if we don't, I'm never going to get to these topics. First and foremost, we have to talk about the pathetic performance against the New England Patriots. Okay. And I know a lot of guys want to jump on the Russell Wilson, beat down, so to speak, or jump, like the old saying says, kick a man when he's down. Okay. I understand that. Okay. Russell Wilson hasn't been what we thought he would be, or what a lot of us thought he would be. Okay. He's not another, he's definitely not a Peyton Manning. He's not a John Elway, but I thought it would be better than what it was. But at that same point and topic, it has to also fall back on Sean Payton, because Sean Payton totally blew it in the Broncos opening drive. When the Broncos were not opening drive, but when there was that turnover, and we're inside the red zone. and it comes down to 4th down. And Sean Payton, instead of kicking the freaking field goal and going up 3-0, decided I'm going to go for the touchdown. Well, what was the final score, guys? 26-23, correct? Well, it was 23-23. Had Sean Payton gone for that field goal in that very first drive on that turnover, the Broncos would have won the game without the Patriots getting an opportunity to kick a field goal, because they would have had to gone for a touchdown. I mean, bottom line. Or they would have had to gone, they would have gone for a field goal, and yeah, they, maybe they go to overtime. But my point is, Denver would not have lost it. Denver would not have lost it. But it was lost in that possession when Sean Payton decided to go for a touchdown. And I understand, guys, a lot of people say, hey, you're on the half-yard line, the 1-yard line, you should be able to make a touchdown. Yeah, well, you should be able to do a lot of things. Doesn't always happen. Remember, guys, there's 11 players on the other side that don't want you to score. They're not going to let you walk in. I mean, that's preposterous and stupid. They're not going to do that. So why not kick a field goal right then and there? Go up 3-0. Okay, so maybe the Patriots get a moral victory for keeping you out of the end zone. Okay, it's all well and good. Guess what? You still got points. Nope, not with Sean Payton. So I can't put all the blame on Rusell Wilson in these losses 3 out of 4. The last 3 out of 4. And we'll get into all of that too. Here's the problem I have. Okay, I'm not quite sure that Sean Payton wanted Rusell Wilson as his quarterback. Why? Because he wasn't his guy. Did he try and make it work? Some people say, he tried to make it work with Rusell Wilson. I'm not buying that either. And the reason why I'm not buying that is because there were plays put in that Rusell Wilson could not do. And most head coaches will take the quarterback and the team that they have and structure their game plan and their play calling around what the quarterback does best. You don't try and take the quarterback and put him into your mold. You take your game plan and mold it into what the quarterback does best. And I mean, think about it. Sean Payton did that with Drew Brees. I mean, Gary Kubiak did that with Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning. And he did it with Peyton Manning. Mike Shanahan did it with John Elway. You cannot expect the quarterback to be molded into your system. You have to mold your system into what he does best. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. They're letting that guy run all over the freaking field. Do whatever he does best. And guess what? He's doing it. Well, albeit not as good as or not as great as last year. They're still doing it. They're still winning the division. So my point being is this. Is it all on Rusell Wilson for the Broncos being 7-8? Yes, there are some issues where, he can't see above 3.5 feet, in front of him. I'm being facetious, but the guy's short. Okay. He does have he has some, what's what I'm looking for? I don't want to make it sound bad, but he has some inconsistencies when it comes to, looking or going through his progression or knowing where to run in the pocket or stay in the pocket. I mean, the game against the Patriots, he was running all over the place and he was running into the defenders. He was missing receivers. There were play calls that were horrible. Now, going back to that Patriot game, the Broncos trailed big time. They trailed 23-6 at one point. I think it was 23-6, 23-3, 23-6, I think it was. And they came back all the way back in 23-23. Then Sean Payton didn't seem like he wanted to go to overtime. The Patriots were running the ball, and the Broncos are calling timeout. They want to get the ball back so we can go down and score. Why? Why did you leave it up to Bill Belichick to absolutely school you, Payton? Because you're calling your timeouts. Now you don't have any. And the Patriots threw that bomb, a 25 or 26-yard pass, 10 more yards, boom, winning field goal. Yeah, that was brilliant. That was brilliant, Sean. You just got schooled by Bill Belichick. And I don't know whether or not Sean Payton did that on purpose. It seems like he is throwing Rusell Wilson under the bus. constantly throwing him under the bus. And in my opinion, it's because he's not the quarterback that he wants. Russell Wilson's not the quarterback that Sean Payton wants. And I'll get into what transpired this past Wednesday. But in my opinion, Sean Payton is not a Russell Wilson fan for whatever reason. Most likely because it's just not his guy. He wants one of his guys. And I get that. But if you're brought in as a head coach and your job is to get the best out of a player, don't expect that player to be molded into what you are trying to do. Mold your system around him. Look at the quarterbacks in the league. Look at the ones that were on one team and not doing too well and went to another team and they're still not doing too well. Or you take a quarterback who is on one team not doing too well, goes to another and does better. Okay? That's what you got to look at. And why are they better? Because they adapted to the new system? No. Because the system adapted to the quarterback. That's the bottom line. And it's that way all the time. Unless you're Sean Payton and you want Russell Wilson to be molded into your system. Doesn't work, buddy. Doesn't work. So the Broncos are now 7-8. They had everything to play for against the Patriots. Patriots were they only had 3 wins. And the Broncos gave them the game. Thanks, Sean. Thanks a lot. I think you're going to get your wish, which is very, very sad. And I'm going to read when I get to that topic, I'm going to read something that just broke right before I came on. And I was unable, to actually, because I get all my notes and everything ready ahead of time. I was unable to actually jot it down notes. I'll read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's very lengthy, but I'll read the highlight points. So anyway, before I get to the next topic, let's see. JKP said, did you see on Let's Talk Football where Chris Sims says Sean Payton has, has 300 plays and with Russell Wilson, he can only run 9. What? Wow. I did not see that. 9 out of 300? That seems extremely low. Extremely low. Wow. I mean, I have to take your word for it, man. I have to take your word for it, but that really does seem extremely low and sad and very sad if that's the case. JKP also said, that's just it, Bill. He got the best of Russell Wilson and he hit a ceiling and he couldn't get any more out of him. That's why he wants to move on. Great point. Okay. I will totally accept that. Just keep punching. I'll definitely accept that. I think you're right. I think you're right. Looking at everything that's transpired, the ceiling was reached on that 5-game win streak. Absolutely reached on that 5-game win streak. I don't know what happened I don't know what's happened in the last 4. Why are we only able to beat the Chargers and we couldn't beat the Lions or who else did we lose to? I got it in here anyways. But yeah, I totally agree. It's sad that if that's the case, then 9 out of 300. Wow. All right. Okay, guys. The Denver Broncos, after Kareem Jackson was reinstated by the NFL to be able to play against the New England Patriots, he was inactive. Inactive? Okay, maybe it's because, PJ Locke was playing really, really well, and he wasn't taking illegal hits, and he wasn't getting suspended. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he was inactive. Or maybe it's because of this. After Denver released Kareem Jackson. Yes, they did last Wednesday. Here it is. Or excuse me, I'm not last Wednesday. Right after the game last Sunday. Okay. After Denver released Kareem Jackson in hopes to bring him back after clearing waivers, that didn't happen. And Kareem Jackson has returned to the Broncos. No, I just said, after hopes of bringing him back, but that didn't happen. Why? because he returned to the team who drafted him, the Houston Texans. That's right. The Houston Texans now have Kareem Jackson. Golly, that stings. That really stings. All right. Jackson said, and I quote, H-Town, I'm back, end quote. Kareem Jackson got in trouble with the National Football League for unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, as well as being fined and suspended multiple times. That's why the Broncos got rid of him. They wanted to move on from somebody who they couldn't trust to be on the field more than just, 4.5 minutes or one hit. I mean, that's the reason why they got rid of him. But they were in hopes of bringing him back or re-signing or whatever it's called. Once he clears waivers, they were going to put him on the practice squad. They're going to try and work through his issues and keep him on the team. Houston Texans said, nope, you ain't getting him back. We're signing him. Now, I don't know what the contract details are. That wasn't mentioned in the article, but it's very, very true that we do not have KJ anymore. So, thank goodness, we've already played him, because I'd hate to go up against him. That guy's a beast. But Houston definitely got a great player if he can stay on the field and not be suspended for however long. All right. Okay. JKP says we're not getting four turnovers again. That's true. Well, I don't know. We don't know how Stidham's going to play. We really don't. I mean, I haven't seen him play other than preseason, and I mean, he didn't really look all that good. And, Sean Payton was the head coach then, and I know that's preseason and you're working out the kinks and you're doing this, you're doing that. I get that. But still, I don't know. I just don't like the way this whole thing went down. And I'm going to read an article pretty soon off the phone. I want to get into kind of ramping up to that point. All right, the Mudungus Creevy is in the house. He says, Bronco Bill. I said, Mudungus Creevy, what's up? And we got Sunday right around the corner, buddy. Right around the corner. I don't know if we're going to win that game, but anyways. All right, here we go. This is a question that I have. Given this entire season, now let's look over the entire season, guys. We know we've still got 2 games left, but the majority of it is gone. More ways than one. All right? We started out 1-5, then we win 5 straight, and now we've lost 3 out of 4. So this whole season's a roller coaster like this. Just any way, shape, or form craziness. My question is this. Did Denver or Sean Payton give up on this season? And when I say did Denver, I'm talking about the players. I'm talking about the players and they're maybe, trying to make a statement to the coaching staff. Sure looked like it in the first 5 games, especially when we lost to Miami 70-20. Looked like they were throwing in the towel on our defensive coordinator. Why can't I think of his name now? Vance Joseph. So, I don't know. It sure looked like it on that game. But then again, the Broncos win 5 straight. So now you're saying, okay, well, things have turned around and the Bronco players are buying into the whole system and now it's working. And then all of a sudden, nosedive. We lost 3 out of the last 4. And it's just like, to lose to the Patriots, some people, in my opinion, I think of it as losing to the Patriots was worse than the 70-20 beatdown by the Dolphins. And here's why. Okay? Here's why. Vance Joseph was still trying to figure out the defense and all of that and what they do best and what he can put in as a game plan and this, that, and the other thing. And at the same time, it also looked like the Bronco players were giving up on Vance Joseph in that debacle. Reason why I say losing to the Patriots was worse is because the Dolphins are a good freaking team. That's why. They lost to a good team, a possible AFC division winning team. Sure, they're in a battle with Buffalo and whatnot, but they're right there. They're right there neck and neck. So the Broncos lost to a really good Miami Dolphins team. But I'm sorry. Yeah, lost to a really good Miami Dolphins team. But they lost to a pathetic New England Patriot 3-game win team last Sunday. How is that not worse than losing to the Dolphins? It absolutely, and they did it at home, and they were down 23-6. Yeah, guys. Yeah, guys, it was ugly. It was ugly. Sure, they fought back. Sure, they pulled their proverbial head out of the proverbial keister. Sure, they did. But in the end, they freaking blew it again. So that's why my question says, did Denver or Peyton give up on the season? Here we go. After the Broncos won 5 straight games to climb back into the playoff picture, they proceeded to lose to Houston, Detroit, and New England. Houston, okay, good team. Detroit, okay, good team. New England? Really? All right. The only game they won was against the Chargers at LA. So where did things go wrong? Now, if you look at the bottom of my name, in the bottom left corner, it'll say, where do we go from here? That's my question. Where do the Broncos go from here? Do we try and win the last 2? Well, Sean Payton says that's what he's trying to do, and I'll get into that too. Let me continue. My thought is Sean Payton has wanted to see what Stidham can do, as well as Rusell Wilson doesn't really fit into Sean Payton's type of offense. That, to me, is the bottom line. Sean Payton has said, okay, I've seen enough. But it's more than that, guys. It's more than that. Okay? Now, once I read this particular article about Rusell Wilson, the title of this show is What Happens with Rusell Wilson Now? People are like, what do you mean what happens with Rusell Wilson now? He's still our starting He's not our starting quarterback? Well, it says what happens with Rusell Wilson now? Oh, what's that mean? It means that Rusell Wilson has been benched by Sean Payton. I'm going to read an article I'm going to read off my phone after I do this article here. Listen to this. All right. Okay. Hold on. Let me get to Jerry Walls really quick in the chat. He says, hi, Bill. I'm still a Broncos fan. And are they trading PS2 after this year? I just got his jersey for Christmas. Uh-oh. I hope you didn't jinx it there, Jerry. No, I personally don't think they're going to trade Patrick Surtain in a second. I really don't. If they do, they're an absolute idiots. Total idiots, have no idea how to build a team and keep a team solid around your cornerstones. You don't get rid of your cornerstones. You don't get rid of Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. You don't get rid of Patrick Surtain or Justin Simmons. You just don't do it, period. You can't. Now, people say, well, you don't get rid of your quarterback either. Well, yes and no. Yes, you do when you have to. And most of the time you shouldn't, obviously, if they're doing well. But in this situation, this is a tricky situation. So I'm going to get into this. Rusell Wilson. Like I said, title of the show is What Happens with Rusell Wilson Now. Underneath my name, it says, where do we go from here? That is a red flag being waved. Here it is. Rusell Wilson benched for the last 2 games of the season. Wow. Yep, I'll get into that. Denver had a massive opportunity to control their own playoff destiny, and they let it slip away with 3 losses in their last 4 games. Now, they have benched their $245 million quarterback. That's right, guys. $245 million is going to be sitting on the bench. Well, standing maybe, but you get the point. Not playing. Why? Why is it not playing? I mean, everybody says if you're paying that kind of money, he has to start. Well, he did for 15 games. I continue. Was Wilson benched for his play or for his guaranteed $37 million if he got injured? What does that mean? That means if he were to play in the last 2 games and get injured and cannot pass a physical for another team if he was released, he would be guaranteed $37 million. Why? Because that's what the contract said. Now, my nephew texted me earlier, Robert Brino, I call him Bobby. He texted me earlier And he said to me, he says, well, how in heaven's name did George Paton sign off on such a ridiculous guaranteed contract? Well, my answer to that is he had to, or Rusell Wilson wasn't coming here. And George Paton was hell bent, or Patton, George Paton, what he calls it Paton. He was so hell bent on getting Rusell Wilson here, he gave up 5 draft picks, 3 players, and that guaranteed contract. That's how bad he wanted him in Denver. Well, Rusell Wilson says, yeah. And then I'm going to go on and read this article right here on my phone. It just came in right before I came on the show, literally right before. And it's eye-opening. It's eye-opening. So let me get to that right now so I can read it to you. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's quite lengthy, but I will read portions of it. So here it is, guys. All right. This is about the title was called Broncos told me, talking about Rusell Wilson, says Broncos told me to adjust my contract or be benched. Holy smokes. Listen to this, guys. This is crazy. All right. Rusell Wilson said that in the days after he helped orchestrate the Denver Broncos' first win over the Kansas City Chiefs. This comes, by the way, courtesy of Jeff Legwell, ESPN senior writer. So this is legit, guys. This is not anything I got off of Twitter and it's a joke. This is legit. Here we go. Rusell Wilson said in the days after he helped orchestrate the Denver Broncos' first win over the Kansas City Chiefs since 2015, team officials approached him to adjust a salary guarantee in his contract. And if he did not, he would be, quote, benched for the rest of the year. Whoa, that was back after the Kansas City game, guys. Listen to this. Coach Sean Payton, however, announced Wednesday that Wilson lost his starting job in favor of Jarrett Stidham for Sunday's home game against the Chargers. Payton said it was strictly a decision based on, and I quote, on winning and to get a spark offensively, end quote. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it for one. Wait, no, I'm not buying it for one moment. I don't buy it for one split second. Bullcrap. Now, maybe in his mind, he wants to get a spark, but I'm still not buying it. Come on. You think that this can stay tight-lipped between George Paton, the owners, whatever, and Rusell Wilson to keep it quiet that nobody else in the building would know? Come on. Maybe they did. Maybe they did keep it hush-hush and nobody knew. And then Sean Payton just saying, hey, I'm going to bench him. Something's missing here. Something's missing here. Coach, general manager, and Greg Penner all talk. I mentioned there'll be an article coming up or in a segment coming up. They do talk. And Sean Payton's going to tell me for one moment this is all based on performance. Okay, Sean, explain the 5-game win streak. Hey, hello, idiot. Explain the 5-game win streak. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that I'm an advocate of keeping Rusell Wilson forever and the guarantee, but that I have nothing to do with the contract. I could care less. That's not my money. It's not coming out of my pocket. I could care less. What I care about is the integrity of this team. Going forward, Pat Bowlen would never have put up with this. Pat Bowlen would never have allowed this to happen. And that's the problem that I have with this team now. It seems like they're underhanded. They're cutthroat. They're backstabbers. And I don't like that from this team. I don't want to see this. I don't like it one bit. The right hand doesn't know what the freaking left hand's doing. I'm not talking to this guy. Oh, but we talk all the time. Okay, well, then why are you calling it? Why are you looking at rose-colored glasses? It's just because I want to win. Sean Payton stands up there and he goes, it's all about winning. All I want to do here is win. Well, you won 5 straight. What happened the last 4? Is that on you, Sean? Is that on your play calling? Kind of think so. I continue. All right, here we go. Let me get to this. Let's see. Okay, here's Rusell Wilson talking. All right, and I quote, they, Broncos brass, whomever, they definitely told me I was going to be benched and all that, Wilson said. Still quoting. That whole bye week, I didn't know what was going to be the case. I was going to be ready to play. I wanted to go to Buffalo and beat Buffalo, which was November 13th. I wasn't going to remove here it is. I wasn't going to remove the guarantee. This game is such a physical game. I've played 12 years and all of that. End quote. Now, quote again, he goes on. I want to be able to play. I want to be able to help this team win. I know every time I step on the field, it's a physical game. I never play timid. I never play scared. End quote. All right. Let me move on a little bit here. Okay, so Rusell Wilson goes on and says, those are good teams. We did it. We fought. It was challenging to keep playing. It's challenging at the same time. I've got a job to do. At the end of the day, you put your head down and stay focused. End quote. He goes on one more time, Sean. Rusell Wilson goes on and says, I hope, he's talking about whether or not he's going to be released. Okay, that could happen in March. Okay, so listen to this. Let me back up and say, what do the Broncos do with Wilson moving forward will be the biggest roster decision the team faces in the offseason. Denver had just 6 draft picks in April with no second rounder and would face dead money charges of $85 million over the 2024-25 seasons combined if the team cuts Wilson in March. Wilson said, and I quote, I hope that it's here that I stay. I hope that it's here for a long time. I hope we win some more silverware in the front hall and we get some more championships. And if it's not here, I'll be prepared to do that somewhere else. But I hope that it's here. I genuinely mean that. I brought my family here to live and I want to stay. End quote. All right, guys, there you go. There you go. It looks like Rusell Wilson could be out the door in March. He's obviously been benched the last 2 games of the season. And the main reason, in my opinion, money. They wanted him. He even said in his own words, and I quoted it for you. He said they approached him after the Kansas City game, which was in October, after the Broncos snapped that 16-game losing streak, and Rusell Wilson had a big part of that. So why would they come up to him and say, you know what? You know what, Russell? We've been thinking. I think it's a good idea if you restructure. And, oh, by the way, at the same time, why don't we just eliminate that guaranteed $37 million? Just because it's an injury thing and you're not injured and, we really want you to restructure. I think that's a good idea, Russell. Yeah, okay. Rusell Wilson's going, not. Guys, he's already guaranteed for $35 million, I think it is, for 2024, whether he stays with Denver or he doesn't. He's guaranteed that money in 2024 because that's the money that went back that Seattle contract was. Denver picked that up. Seattle's paying for it, or maybe Denver's, I'm not sure, but he's guaranteed it. Absolutely guaranteed that money in 2024. Why would he get rid of that guaranteed money? I mean, to him, that's stupid. Absolutely it is. But it goes back to George Payton, agreeing to that contract. But that's how bad George Payton wanted Rusell Wilson. And maybe just as badly as the ownership wanted Rusell Wilson. Because remember, the ownership signs off on it. And they had to. So ownership wanted Rusell Wilson as well. Who wouldn't? Anybody in the world in the NFL, the other 31 teams, would have done the same thing. Maybe not given up as much, but they'd have done the same thing. Absolutely they would. So Rusell Wilson is holding all the strings. And the Broncos are the ones that are going to be biting it in the freaking rear because of how this whole thing went down. Now, that leads me to the next segment. But before we do, all right, somebody's talking about my blood pressure, so I got to go there. Let's see. Okay, so Mundungus Creevy says he thinks that J.J. McCarthy fits Peyton's system better. Yeah, you're probably right, because obviously Rusell Wilson's didn't fit too well. And I, again, I go back to why wouldn't the head coach try and solidify things or make it more vanilla, so to speak? And I don't mean vanilla in play, but the verbiage or whatever it is. But then JKP brought up a good point and said that out of 300 plays they have, Rusell Wilson's only using 9. Or was that Jake? Who was that? Only using 9? Who said that? 300. Let me see where that was. That was JKP. Okay, got it right. Okay. Let's see. JKP says Cecil Lammy and D-Mac are crying. They're going to have to trade PS2 to move up in the draft to get up to 1 or 2 for one of the top quarterbacks. I'm assuming you're saying that. I don't want that. I don't want that one bit. I mean, again, you don't give up a cornerstone to get a draft pick. What if that draft pick is a bust? Oh, like Osweiler or Drew Lock. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. Or retreads like Trevor Simmons. Oh, he's doing pretty good right now. Or Joe Flacco. He's doing good in Cleveland. Now, you know, again, it has to do with the coaches and the system they're running and the quarterback being able or the quarterback doing what he does best. And when you let a quarterback do what he does best, they got him into the NFL to begin with. Why would you mess with that? Why would you try and put a square peg in a round hole? It don't work. It doesn't work, and it's not working in Denver with Rusell Wilson. All right, let me go down the list here a little bit. Clayton Huron says, hey, guys. I say, hey, what's happening there, Clayton? Nice to always have you in the chat. Thanks so much. And as always, Clayton says, smash that like button and share the show, the network with your friends, family, enemies, whomever. Really do appreciate it. Clayton Huron says, Denver Bronco for life, baby. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, you know, we can't control what they do on the field or who they have on their team or anything like that. We can't control that. All we can do is cheer and not give up. Just like you don't turn your back on your kids when they do something you don't like, or if they're not performing like you hope they do. You encourage them, you do the best you can, and you're there for them to support. Well, that's what us Broncos country needs to do. We got to get behind this team. And I know that we get frustrated, and I know that we get, like shaking our head, like how in heaven's name did that happen and whatever. Okay. But as fans, we cannot turn our back on the team because that's when they need us desperately more. So guys, show up at this last game of the season this coming Sunday at home against the Chargers. Show up. Don't show your displeasure. Don't show any of that because all you're doing, in my opinion, is showing your ignorance. Okay. You don't do that. You already paid the money. So why are you doing that? Well, I can recoup it. I'll just sell it. Well, okay. So you recouped it and sold it, but somebody else is sitting in your seat, dummy. I mean, I just never liked that. Never, ever liked that. All right. Clayton says, Russ was Russ. Russ was Russ. Hell of a season. Just didn't mold with us in the middle of the field. We got Sutton and JJ, but Russ can't see him. We got to just eat the money and move on. Yeah, you're right. He can't see him. He's too freaking short. And that's a problem too. And that's why he was always rolling out of the pocket. But Sean Payton didn't want him rolling out of the pocket. He wanted to keep him in the pocket. Well, that doesn't work. And again, Sean, you need to mold around Rusell Wilson. You know what? Rusell Wilson is not going to mold to you. Just like most quarterbacks are not going to mold their way of not doing things into what you want them to do. It's not going to work. Like I said, that's trying to take a square peg and put it in a round hole. It doesn't fit. You can't do that. You got to take the square peg like this, square, and mold it into a round. That's how you do it. You mold your way around the quarterback. You don't do it the opposite way because it ain't going to work. All right. Here it is. Is Rusell Wilson done in Denver? Here it is. Sean Payton insists no long-term decision has been made yet. Okay. All right. Payton said, and I quote, regarding the future, we haven't had a sit down. I'm sure we will. Greg Penner and I, as well as George Payton, speak frequently. This is about trying to win our 8th game, and we'll go from there, end quote. That doesn't sound promising to me, guys. That doesn't sound promising. And Rusell Wilson said, and I read it back a segment ago, that he wants to stay in Denver. Is that going to happen? Most likely not. But, I mean, he throws out there and says he wants to stay. Well, Von Miller said he wanted to stay. And Von Miller was a lot more loved in Denver than Rusell Wilson, and for a lot longer, and MVP of the Super Bowl and Super Bowl champion. Yeah, Von Miller was Broncos defense. Absolutely. And he wanted to stay in Denver. That didn't happen. So if the Broncos can part ways with Von Miller, You don't think they can part ways with Rusell Wilson? Sure they can. And that's the thing. I believe that's the move they're going to make. I don't agree with it, because if he's already guaranteed the money in 2024, why wouldn't you keep him and draft a quarterback? And no, it does not have to be in the first or second round, and we don't have to get rid of PS2 to accomplish that. Get one down the ladder. Hello? Tom Brady was found in the 6th round. I know not everybody's going to be a Tom Brady, but hey, it does happen. So why not keep Rusell Wilson for 2024? He's not going to restructure his contract, but he doesn't really, he can play and whatnot, and just put him in situations. I don't know. I know, to me, that's why this is more of a money issue. This is not about winning the last 2 games of the season, guys. It's really not. Sean Payton can tell me that till he's blue in the freaking face. I still ain't going to believe it, because it's not that. Look, read between the lines. They told him back after the Kansas City Chiefs game to restructure your contract or you're benched. Well, he wasn't benched for the next, 4 games that they won, but he's still benched now. Why? Because he wouldn't restructure. So this is not about winning the last 2 games, Sean. So quit trying to blow smoke up our backside. It's old. It doesn't work. So stop it. We're not believing it. Okay? We're not. Why don't you just come out and tell the truth? Hey, we asked him to restructure. He wouldn't restructure. So, we have to cover our losses, or, not take losses, that kind of thing, or not pay out. Well, we don't have to. That's what it comes down to. It has nothing to do with winning, because Rusell Wilson and the Broncos win on that 5-game win streak. So that, to me, right there tells me that Sean Payton is pulling the wool over our eyes and trying to make us believe a freaking lie. And I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. And that's what I'm talking about. The integrity of this team is not what it was with Pat Bowlen. And I'm not liking it one bit. This stinks to high heaven of what the Patriots do. It really does. And I don't like their way of doing things. I don't like the cutthroat that they do. It kind of stinks like the Dallas Cowboy ownership when they fired Tom Landry. And Tom Landry's on the golf course, and they fired him. Tom Landry's a legend in Dallas. Nope. Backstab. Cutthroat. I'm not liking this way of doing business. It's not right. And I didn't read it, but Rusell Wilson said it felt like a stab in the back. It felt like cutthroat. It felt like they undercut him. Oh, what do you mean it felt like it? That's absolutely what they did. Russell, it was all about the contract. And because you wouldn't structure, they punished you. And that's wrong. That is totally, totally wrong. I can't agree to that. I can't totally agree to that. You don't do business that way. And I understand it's a business and whatnot. And it's what have you done for me lately? Crap and all that stuff. I get it. But holy smokes, man, George Payton, if you knew that you did not want to honor that injury clause, why in heaven's name did you sign it? Oh, because you wanted Rusell Wilson. What, for 2 years? In hopes that you'd win a Super Bowl in the first 2 years or playoffs or whatever, and then let him go? I don't like the way this smells. It smells like a freaking rat. It smells like a skunk. It does. It stinks to high heaven. And my goodness, Pat Bowlen wouldn't have put up with this. He absolutely would not have put up with this. And that's what frustrates me the most, is that this is being allowed to happen. And it's just rubbing me completely wrong. All right, let me continue. Wilson could restructure his contract, but why should he? Here's why. Here's why he shouldn't. He'll get paid even if he's cut, because he's guaranteed his money for 2024. Why would he restructure his contract? He's already guaranteed 2024. But they're not really asking him to restructure his contract of next year. They're asking him to take away the guaranteed money that if he gets injured and can't pass a physical in March, and he can't pass a physical, then he'll get an additional $37 million. That's what the Broncos want him to get rid of. Not the money in 2024, but again, why would he restructure? He's already going to get that money. So he could leave the Broncos if and when they cut him in March, passes a physical with another team, which I'll get into right now as to possible teams he could go to, and he's guaranteed that money. So whatever contract he signed with another team, he's still got the 24 or still got the 34 million. Yeah, still got that money. Why would he not? Why would he not just say, okay, I'm not restructuring? I mean, like I said earlier, guys, he holds all the purse strings, literally. Oh, sure. Walton Penner ownership group, they got the deep pockets, but Rusell Wilson's controlling the whole thing. He's controlling the Broncos like a freaking puppet. Controlling them big time. Their hands are tied. Keep him on the roster, he's going to get paid anyways. Cut him loose in March, going to get paid anyways. It's a win-win for Rusell Wilson, except for the guaranteed money. That's why they're benching him. And I don't like the cutthroat action that the Denver Broncos are showing. It's absolutely irritating and just drives me nuts. Let's see. So Clayton Huron says Sean Payton will find our quarterback. Mark my words. Yeah, he'll find a quarterback. Absolutely, he'll find one. I just don't want it to be at the cost of a trade of Patrick Surtain or Justin Simmons or Courtland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy. Now, Jerry Jeudy could be on, but maybe Jerry Jeudy's reason why he wasn't so productive this year is because Russell Wilson can never find the guy. He's always getting open. He's always deep. He's always running, precise routes. Russell Wilson couldn't see him because Russell Wilson can't see above this. Where is he? I can't see that. Yeah, he can't see above the freaking lineman. Why do you think so many passes were getting knocked down? It just needs to play his game, and Sean Payton wanted Wilson to play Payton's game. All right. Yes. I got that. Okay, so young Tyrone, nice to have you in the chat. Nice to have you in the show. Really appreciate it. He says that $85 million in dead cap. Yeah, I know. That's gonna be a hit too. It's not, and the thing that is bad about dead cap money is it goes against the allotment that you have for signing players. It goes against it, and it has nothing. Walton Penner ownership group look at that and go, 85 million, that's nothing. We got billions. We're billionaires or whatever, and so yeah, I mean, sure, it's a lot of money, but it goes against what the Broncos could do in the future, and that's what hurts. It's dead money, and they can't do anything with it. So that's not good at all. Okay. Young Tyrone says, take the cut. Russell said he wants to stay in Denver, win a championship, take the pay cut and stay. I agree. I read that earlier that he does want to stay. I just don't think that Sean Payton and the Broncos want to go another year. I say keep him on the team. He can be a mentor to a drafted quarterback, whether it be the 5th or 6th round, 4th round, it doesn't matter. If you get a quarterback and he's a quarterback that Sean Payton feels and believes he can work in Sean Payton's system, then by all means draft him and have Russell Wilson under Russell Wilson's, not necessarily his style of game, of course, but his leadership, what he means in the locker room, how his work ethic, all of that can come into play when it comes to a drafted rookie quarterback. That's what's important. Absolutely important. Let's see. Clayton Huron says there's a ton of talent in our receivers. The next quarterback will have a field day. I absolutely agree. If we keep Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, or whatever, or we draft wide receivers or what. Yeah, we have the talent. We just didn't have the quarterback that could fit into Sean Payton's system, and Sean Payton didn't want to bend. And maybe he did to a certain degree, but if a coach is used to coaching a certain way and getting the best out of their quarterback by the way they coach and the plays are calling, and you can't get that with a quarterback like Russell Wilson, then of course it's not going to work. Of course it's not going to work. And then young Tyrone says, I believe he's asking me, do I think Stidham's the answer? I don't. And the only reason why I say I don't think Stidham's the answer is I didn't think he looked all that good in preseason. I mean, he had little flashes of here and there and whatnot, but I don't think he's the guy. Now, Just that being said, it was preseason, and they're working out the kinks, like I mentioned earlier, and they're trying to get the game plan, the system, and see what works and doesn't work. So yes, that was preseason. Stidham hasn't played in the regular season all year. 15 games, 16 weeks, hasn't played. Now he gets this chance to play the last 2 games. Is this an audition to see if Sean Payton and the Broncos brass wants to keep him on the team as a backup or whatever? Is this an audition? Absolutely it is. Sure it is. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's an audition. And Sean Payton believes in Stidham as being a possible answer. I personally don't know. I will find out Sunday what I see. Chargers are a mess. They fired their head coach Staley and their offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, one of the two. Anyways, and so they're a mess. They're in search of a head coach. So there's a lot of ifs and what ifs and what's going to happen this Sunday, but we'll all find out come 1 o'clock on the Pacific Coast for the Broncos Charger game. But I don't know. I don't know if Stidham's the answer. I don't even know if the last 2 games really is a barrier to see where he is, because we're playing a Charger team that's going nowhere, a Raider team that they've got a little bit of kick and firepower. They got the same record as the Broncos at 7-8, so they got a chance to make the playoffs just like Denver does. Certain things have to happen, of course, but nonetheless, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good barometer to judge Stidham. I'm not sure, but in any case, we're going to see him for the last 2 games. All right, before I jump into another segment, let's see. Clayton Huron says Peyton can coach quarterbacks. Believe me, look at what he did in New Orleans. Different quarterbacks, and he made them look great. Yes, that's true. But those quarterbacks were able to understand his play calling, and they were the type of quarterback that could work in his system. Rusell Wilson's not that kind of quarterback. Russell Wilson can't see over his 3.5 feet 3.5 feet high because he's so freaking short. So that doesn't work because Sean Payton likes a pocket quarterback. Russell Wilson's a running quarterback. He's the kind of quarterback that has to get out of the pocket to make things happen. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And a lot of times they don't. And that's not what Sean Payton is all about. And it just doesn't happen. Just is not happening. Dylan Kuhn says, is that Bill? Yes, it is. It is me. You got that right. Yep, I'm back, man. I'm here. That last Broncos show of 2023. All right. Young Tyrone says, do I think Benito's going to play this Sunday? I haven't heard. I heard that Cortland Sutton didn't practice. No, Cortland Sutton's out. He's on concussion, that he got a concussion against the Patriots. Cortland Sutton's out. Couple of people are questionable. Jerry Jeudy didn't practice. I think he said it was an illness, and I didn't. Obviously, Russell Wilson's not playing. He's a backup, and I don't know who the other one was. There was one more, but I don't recall it being Benito, so I don't know. Hopefully he can return. Clayton says mid-30s in Wisconsin, no snow. Yet normally we have snow by now. Wow. Well, hey, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I know that a lot of places need snow for the water and that kind of thing. So hopefully you get some, Clayton. But it's crazy here too in the winter. We've had a really strange winter. We had tremendous amount of fog yesterday that I worked at the golf course, and it was backed up and delayed, and it was a mess. And then today it's crystal clear. We haven't had that much rain. We're expecting rain tomorrow, but doesn't look like it's going to amount to much. So yeah, it's really crazy everywhere. 2023 has been a weird year in so many different ways. And, personally and country-wise, world-wise, it's just been crazy. Broncos country, Broncos team. Yeah, it's been crazy year. All right. Where will Wilson be in 2024? You think he's going to stay with the Broncos? You think the Broncos will have him restructure some way, shape, or form? I don't see it. If he hadn't done it by now, he's not going to do it. Like I said, why would he do it when he's guaranteed the $24 million, whether he plays for the Broncos this year or next year? 24 or 34? 34. I think it's 34. Anyways, he's guaranteed that for 2024. So why would he restructure? Why would he get rid of the guarantee anyways? All right. So if the Denver Broncos release Rusell Wilson, which team could be looking to take him? Well, I'm going to answer that for you. These are what I found off of the NFL, ESPN, I believe it was. Here it is. At number 7, the top 7 teams, with one else I'll be throwing in, but top 7 teams so far, this is it. Possible landing spots. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, they got Mayfield, but Rusell Wilson could fit in there too. Rusell Wilson, Tampa Bay could be looking at a quarterback. Mayfield's done well this year, but it's a microcosm. It's just this 1 year he's doing really well. So that's a possibility. That's why Tampa Bay's at number 7 on this list. Number 6, Las Vegas Raiders. Why? Because they don't trust Garoppolo. Nobody really trusts Garoppolo. And if the Raiders want to move on from Garoppolo or keep him as a backup or whatever, Rusell Wilson could go there. And young Tyrone said that right now in chat. Said Wilson might play with the Raiders. Well, there you go. Now, how crazy would that be if he goes to the Raiders, plays the Broncos twice, and beats us twice? How would that look? Well, again, if the head coach is adapting to and structuring what Rusell Wilson does best and make it work, well, then of course he can beat the Broncos, and of course he can make Sean Payton and George Payton look horrible for getting rid of him or not molding to what he does best. Well, you never know. But that's at number 6 is Las Vegas Raiders. Number 5, Pittsburgh Steelers. Why? Because they have Pickett. And Pickett isn't all that. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers record. Yes, they have a chance to make the playoffs. That's true. That's very true. But I mean, they're not tearing up the league. They're not in that upper echelon. So they could be looking at a Rusell Wilson. I don't know. Here's number 4, New England Patriots. Well, there you go. Belichick, he's worked miracles with Tom Brady. Drafted number 6. He worked miracles with Tom Brady. Would Rusell Wilson fit in there? I don't know. Could be. Could very well be. I don't know. I didn't do this list. I'm just reading what their list is. Okay, they're being ESPN and NFL. Okay, that's number 4. Number 3, Washington Redskins. Commanders. Why? They have Howell. He's not lighting up the world. Yes, the Commanders have played better the last couple of games. Yes, and maybe that would be the quarterback in the future. But why not have a veteran quarterback like a Rusell Wilson? Do I want to see Rusell Wilson on any other team playing against us in the near future? No, I don't. I'm not saying we're going to play the Washington Commanders or the Steelers or the Patriots again or Tampa Bay. I don't know what the schedule is going to be like next year. I just don't want it to happen, period. Because I don't want to come back and say, ha, gotcha. I don't want that. I don't like that a bit. It just makes, we already got egg on our face for, having Rusell Wilson now on the brink of not being on the Broncos after just, how about 15 games this year and how many games he played last year? Well, I'm not going by games. How about wins? 7 wins here, 5 last year, 12 games. Yeah, that doesn't cut it, man. Doesn't cut it. All right. How about number 2, New York Giants? Why? They have Jones. Well, I mean, he hasn't played all that badly, but the Giants are not that good of a team. Would Rusell Wilson want to go there? I don't think so. I think out of those top 6, still got one left. Out of those top 6, I think he would be best suited in Las Vegas, as much as I hate saying that. I mean, they just sound like they'd be the one to roll the dice. They do it all the time. They constantly bring up, 85-year-old guys to play. Well, maybe not that high, but you know what I'm saying? They constantly are bringing people in, that have been down the road and around the block many times. So I look at that, I would say Vegas or Patriots. That's what I'd say. Raiders or Patriots would be mine. All right, number 1, Atlanta Falcons. Well, that's a possibility too. Atlanta Falcons is a possibility. But coming from K-Fan out of Minnesota, the Minnesota Vikings are a 5-1 odds to land Russell Wilson due to Kirk Cousins' injury if he is able to play at the start of the season in 2024. Remember, Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles. Okay, that's a major injury. Yes, the science and medicine and whatnot has come a very, very long ways in recent years, but still, the body. I mean, what if he cuts it another way or something, or gets rolled up on and snaps it? Now you don't have a quality backup. Now, I mean, you got Dobbs, but he's no Russell Wilson. But then again, does Russell Wilson fit into O'Connell's way of leadership on that team, way as being a head coach? I would say so. Yeah, why not? Minnesota would be a good shot, really would, because they don't know the status of a Kirk Cousins injury coming back. Kirk Cousins could do anything in the world he wants to get back there, but you don't ever know. Just like we didn't know about Javonte Williams, how he'd be. He's been fantastic. I still don't think Williams is at the level he was before he had that ACL, MCL, and PCL torn. I don't think he's back at that level. He's not up here, but he's not down here. He's somewhere in the upper middle, but still, he's a little bit diminished from what he was. Kirk Cousins could be the same way. So Minnesota, on their odds, or on odds, I don't know where the odds came from, but on the odds from K-Fan, they have the odds at 5-1 to land Russell Wilson should he be released by the Denver Broncos by March. All right. Clayton Huron says Arizona Cardinals. That's a possibility. I just don't know. I think Russell Wilson wants to win. He wants to win championships. And he's not going to go to the Cardinal team like that he feels doesn't have a chance. Or maybe a Giants team that had a chance. Or Washington. Or Pittsburgh at this point in time. So I'm not sold that he would want to go on a team like the Cardinals. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not Russell Wilson. I don't know, where he'd want to be. I know he said he wants to be in Denver, so I just don't know if that's going to stay, because if we got rid of Von Miller, it's easy way to get rid of Russell Wilson. That's for sure. Clayton Huron also says Steelers. Yeah, I mentioned that on that list. I just don't know or can't. I just can't see Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. I really can't. I could see him in Vegas. What did I say? Vegas, New England, or Minnesota. Those would be my three. Okay, Vegas, New England, Minnesota. Does he want to give the Broncos a payback? Then he goes to the Raiders, or because then the Raiders play the Broncos twice a year. Would he go to New England? Well, yeah, Belichick. He's worked miracles, so that might be a possibility. Minnesota, I don't know. Minnesota is a really good team. They had their ups and downs this year, like a lot of teams that look like they're going to be a powerhouse. But that's just the nature of the game. Minnesota's a solid team. You got Jefferson on that team. You got Hawkinson. You got some great players on that team. New England looks like they're rebuilding. They're just not that good. And then you've got the Vegas Raiders, who are 7-8. So really the only team, I was going to say the only team with a winning record of all three of those is the Vikings, but that ain't true because they lost last week too. So I don't know. It's a crapshoot. But let's first things first. We don't know if Wilson's going to restructure. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll come to a sense and say, you know what, I'm going to restructure because I really want to stay in Denver and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Let's cross that bridge when it happens. But I thought that was interesting that those teams were on that list. All right. Is George Paton on the hot seat? Ooh, maybe he is. Listen to this. Is George Paton's job as general manager of the Broncos in jeopardy? Well, he was the man who pulled the trigger on Wilson and gave Seattle 3 players and 5 draft picks. Paton also extended Wilson's contract before he ever played a snap for the Broncos. You don't really do that. You just don't. Okay. Broncos CEO and owner Greg Penner decided to only fire Hackett, letting George Paton work with Sean Payton. Now it might be too awkward to have him George Paton in the same building as Sean Payton. A general manager opening position in Denver may not be far away. Wow. Do I like that? No, I don't like that. I don't like any time there's a lot of major changes. And yes, sometimes change is good, but a lot of times change isn't good. And the reason why I say that is this, okay? Some people make changes because they have to. In the case of Gary Kubiak, the Broncos had to make a change at head coach because Kubiak he just felt like he couldn't do it anymore because of health issues. He had some health issues in Houston, and he had a health issue scare in Denver. So that I totally understand. You have to make changes in that situation. But sometimes when you make changes and you get the wrong person, a la Hackett, it doesn't work. So I'm not sure that getting rid of George Paton would be an answer. I'm not sure George Paton is the problem. I don't know if signing Rusell Wilson to an extension obviously had to be signed off by the ownership group, and the ownership group signed off on Rusell Wilson and 3 players being sent to Seattle along with 5 draft choices. That had to be signed off by the ownership group too. Now, does the ownership group, are they naive about how football operations is worked and done? Maybe they are. Maybe they are naive. I don't know. But the thing is when you sign off on something, then you're responsible. So yes, they're responsible for the demise of the situation with the Denver Broncos and Rusell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett. So yes, George Paton has to take some of the blame. Absolutely has to take some of the blame. And remember, he got rid of Von Miller. I wasn't in favor of that either. Neither was Von Miller. He didn't want to go. It's things like that you start looking at the track record and go, you know what? Maybe he is gone. Maybe he is not going to be around as a general manager for very long. Or maybe it's because he was new at it last year, which is true. He was new at it. And, or maybe it's his 3rd year. I don't know, but he's still new at it. And maybe he just needs to get his sea legs under him, so to speak, and move forward. Now that he has Sean Payton in the building for, a full year, he can play off of his knowledge and whatnot. Maybe he has a better grasp of what Greg Penner wants to do, how Greg Penner wants to run things, stuff like that. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. I don't want to see George Paton gone. I really don't. I like the guy. I do. I don't know him personally, obviously, but I like him. I think he has a good head on his shoulders. I just don't like the way this whole thing has gone down. It's making Bronco country and Broncos organization look pathetic. It really is. This is making the Broncos organization look bad. And when Pat Bowlen was the owner of the Broncos, we didn't have this kind of turmoil. We didn't have this kind of egg on our face. We didn't have this embarrassment of what this team has turned into. The last 6 seasons, and obviously just the last couple with the ownership group. But you know what I'm saying? When Pat Bowlen wasn't running anything in the Broncos side anymore, and it was Joe Ellis, that was the beginning of the debacle. That was the beginning of the spiral. I don't know what Joe Ellis was doing, but to not hire Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch as the general manager because you didn't like the Shanahans and you had a beef with Mike Shanahan, that's child play. That's childish. That's selfish. You basically ran the Broncos organization into the ground because you had a vendetta against the Shanahans. That's Joe Ellis. And that's what started this whole spiral thing downward. And it's still continuing because it's once you go and hit rock bottom, it's hard to pull yourself out of that situation. Broncos are trying their best to do it, but it just every turn you look at it, it's something different. It's something totally different. You hire Hackett, that didn't work. You sign Rusell Wilson, give up the farm, that didn't work. You hire Sean Payton to fix Rusell Wilson, well, that kind of worked, but not really. It's just one of these continually spiraling downward that this Broncos organization and Broncos country has to endure. And we as fans, we're not used to this. At least I know I'm not. I'm not used to this at all. Okay, so this is interesting. JKP says, Russell Wilson did the same thing in Seattle. He tried to make the organization look bad once they wanted to move on from him. Great point. Great point. I hadn't thought of that. Just keep punching. Hadn't thought of that. But that's really good. That's really good. I would agree with that. I like this one. Young Tyrone. Tyrone says, Peyton Manning for general manager. I like that a lot. He's a business mind. He's got a great judge of talent. I think he would be a phenomenal GM. I just don't think he wants that type of pressure. I mean, he's got a great gig on ESPN doing the Manning cast. I think that's great. I don't think he wants to give up that cushy job, sit back, kind of say what he wants to say, that kind of thing. I'm not sure he wants that. He'd like to be in the spotlight. He likes to do what he's doing. But I like that thought, though. I really do. D-Rock in the house. Says, Big Bill, I said, Big D-Rock, what is up? Yes, I also agree, D-Rock. There's a tough road ahead. Absolutely a tough road. And it's gonna be a tough offseason. We're gonna have a whole lot of stuff to talk about. We've had a lot of stuff to talk about the last couple of off seasons. It's been crazy. Absolutely crazy. Joe Ellis is already gone from my understanding there, young Tyrone. Joe Ellis is already gone. Once the ownership group took over and the trust was finalized. Joe Ellis, John Elway, who else was over there? Joe Ellis, John Elway, that I know for sure, are no longer doing anything with the organization. So their time is done. But speaking of done, the damage has been done by Joe Ellis and all of his selfishness and pity, crybaby stuff really pissed me off, man. Okay. JKP says, if they move on from George Payton, I want somebody in there that won't put up with BS like Russell Wilson is doing right now. I want him. I want somebody that will not put up with it. I agree. You can't. You got to put your foot down and say, no. I mean, look what Hackett gave him the moon. When Nathaniel Hackett was there, Nathaniel Hackett had no idea what he was doing. And he literally gave Russell Wilson his own office on a different floor than the regular team. No, quarterback's not above everybody else. They may be the most important because of position-wise, the play calling and all that, but they're not above anybody else. If Russell Wilson didn't have receivers to throw it to, it wouldn't matter how good he was. If there's nobody to hand the ball off and run with it, and then, what does it matter? What does it matter? No, you have to have players around you, and you have to be on the same level as your teammate because you're not better than them. You're not. That's just the way it is. You're not. So get over it. All right. So Sean Payton, this is the next to the last article, guys. And thanks so much, guys, for being in the chat, for your comments and your thoughts and everything. It's always great to have you guys chime in because you take this show to another level, and we talk about different things, and that's what's fantastic. Really, really appreciate it, guys. All right, next to the last topic. Sean Payton was dissed by the media. Okay, well, all right, listen to this. If any of you have watched Sean Payton and the media, we all have seen that it's not a love affair. Sean Payton, he when he answers questions, let's say a question is, what do you think went wrong in this game? He'll go, well, and then he'll start with, and he'll think, because he doesn't want to say something that the media is going to come back and hold over his head or plaster all over the place or whatever, like he did when he, called Nathaniel Hackett out on the carpet, for being the worst NFL head coach that the NFL's ever seen. All right. So Sean Payton doesn't really get along with the media in a love affair situation. In other words, not like a buddy thing. Let me continue. So after Payton's press conference, Sean Payton said this, and I quote, "It's all part of the deal. When it comes to the criticism I face, when it comes to the criticism that I face," end quote. He went on, he ended his presser by thanking the media for wishing him a happy birthday, even though the media never wished him a happy birthday. Wow. So the media knew it was his birthday, I would assume. I mean, media knows everything about stuff. And I assume that they knew that it was Sean Payton's birthday today. and he thanks the media for saying, "Hey, thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. Really do appreciate it. That's awesome. You guys are the best." Blah blah. I don't think he went that far, but he did thank them for wishing him a happy birthday, even though no one in the media ever wished him a happy birthday. So, is the love affair between or the honeymoon or whatever between the media and Sean Payton over? Oh yeah, it's been over for a while. I mean, especially when he looks at a media person and says, "What is the question? What are you asking me? I just mentioned that. I just said that. What are you asking me?" That's not really the way to get the best side and the best press from the media. If you're going to act like do I say jackass of the week? No, I didn't really officially make it the jackass of the week, but it could very well. He could very well be that person this week, even though I didn't pull that up. Okay. All right. So before I get into the last topic, JKB wants to know this question. He says, "Bill, how long have you been a Broncos fan?" "I've been a Broncos fan since 1986. I've been a Broncos fan, JKP, since 1976. I was a Vikings fan from 1970 to 1976, or first part of the season, right before the season of 1976. And then I was a Vikings fan. Reason why I was a Broncos fan was my dad was a Cowboys fan. And I didn't like the Cowboys, but I wanted to cheer for a team that would play the Cowboys. Now, back then, they had less teams in the league, so you played a lot of teams outside your division more so than you do now. And the Broncos and the Vikings and Cowboys would play about every other year. And then, of course, in the playoffs and things like that. So I was a Vikings fan until 76. My oldest sister moved to Denver, Colorado in the 76 season. And not Denver, I should say Littleton, Colorado. Anyways, she lived there for about 10 years. And in 1977 was the year the Broncos went to their first Super Bowl against, those Dallas Cowboys that my dad was a fan of. So it was my favorite team against his favorite team in the Super Bowl. And of course, the Broncos lost, and I cried my heart out. I was what? How old was I? Was I 77? I was 19 years old. Yeah, I know, a teenager, but hey, that was my team, and I was crushed because I didn't like the Cowboys. I mean, I love my dad, and I respected the fact that he liked the Cowboys. I just didn't like him. And I was a Vikings fan. Then I was a Broncos fan. And then, so that one really crushed. That one hurt. So, but that's how I became a Broncos fan. And I've been one ever since, and I always, always will be. All you have to do is look back there, and you'll see the banner right here. You'll see the pennant here. You'll see this here. You'll see John Elway right there, and his name up here. You'll see the orange and blue stripes. Yeah, I'm a Broncos fan, big time. Okay, let's go. Young Tyrone says, the way Sean Payton screamed at Rusell Wilson live on TV, I feel like he handled better behind closed doors. Yeah, he probably should have done it behind closed doors. It probably would have been better off, absolutely. But again, I don't buy the fact that he said that Sean Payton said he was yelling at the referee or that he was just trying to light a fire. I don't buy that. I'm sorry. I just don't buy that. I look at it this way. I look at it as Sean Payton does not want Rusell Wilson as his quarterback because he did not want him. In other words, he didn't bring Rusell Wilson in. That was already there when he got to Denver. Rusell Wilson's not his guy. He wants somebody else like Stidham. And I don't buy the fact that whatever Sean Payton is saying in regards to Rusell Wilson. He got into Rusell Wilson's face several times this season, and I haven't liked it. Haven't liked it one bit. Now, I'm not advocating that Rusell Wilson, is the all world quarterback for the Broncos. No, I'm not saying that. I just don't like the way things are done. That's what I'm talking about. It has everything to do with integrity. It has everything to do with being classy. It has everything to be said to be doing it the right way. You do it the right way. You don't do it like this and you don't embarrass the organization, yourself, another player, and the team. You don't do that. That just tells me you don't have respect of a person. I don't care whether you like him or not. If he's on your team, you have to give him some respect. Don't do that on live TV. And if you guys missed anything about that, I brought in a video, I believe it was last week or the week before. Go back and watch. It had to do with Rusell Wilson being accosted basically verbally by Sean Payton, and it's really good video that I brought in. So if you have a chance, go back and watch that. And yeah, it was absolutely disgraceful. Didn't like it one bit at all. All right, guys. Last topic of the show. Thanks so much, guys, for hanging in with me. I know it's been longer than normal, but there's so much stuff to talk about. It's been crazy stuff happening in the last 4 or 5 days. All right, here it is. Denver's last home game of the season this Sunday. Here it is. The Denver Broncos will play their last home game of the season this Sunday against the LA Chargers. Stidham and not Rusell Wilson will be the starting quarterback. Sean Payton has said all along that all he wants is to win. Everybody wants to win. I just don't see that as being the defining factor here. Well, does Stidham give Denver a better chance than Wilson, who beat the Chargers just 2 games ago on the road, or not? I say no. Stidham does not give the Broncos a better chance to win. Why? Well, first and foremost, he hasn't played all year in a regular season game. So how do we know he's going to be better? Well, he's more like what Sean Payton offenses wants and that kind of thing. How do we know? We haven't seen. All we had was a smattering of a couple of games in preseason. Whoopee. That doesn't tell me that Stidham is better. Remember, guys, Rusell Wilson went on that 5-game win streak. Yes, it was other players. I get it. But remember, guys, we beat the Chiefs. We beat the Browns. We beat the Vikings. We beat the Buffalo Bills. And yeah, throw in the Packers. But we beat those 4 solid teams. 4 solid teams. And Rusell Wilson was a quarterback then. And the Broncos came back and won those games. And I say come back because they came back against the Vikings. And they came back against the Browns. Or was that the Bills or Chiefs? Chiefs game. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The Broncos won those 4 games, and Rusell Wilson was the quarterback. Let me repeat that again, guys, in case you missed it. Kansas City, playoff bound. Buffalo Bills, playoff bound. Minnesota Vikings, on the verge of a playoff game. And who was the other one I said? Minnesota, Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cleveland. Cleveland playoff bound. Those 4 teams are playoff bound, and Broncos beat them with Sean Payton. With Rusell Wilson. Does Stidham give us a better chance to beat the Chargers? I don't think so, because Rusell Wilson just played them 2 games ago, and we beat the Chargers handily in LA. Why now? Oh, it's because Sean Payton just wants to win, and it's all about winning, and we've lost 3 of the last 4. Bull crap. It has nothing to do with that. Has absolutely nothing to do with that. Has everything to do with the $37 million that the Broncos don't want to have to pay in guaranteed money because Rusell Wilson won't restructure that contract. Period. Plain and simple. Bottom line, that's it. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not buying it. I'm dang sure not buying it from Sean Payton. That's it. End of that. Now, do I think that the Broncos are going to beat the Chargers this coming Sunday with Stidham quarterback and Cortland Sutton possibly not playing? No. Not possibly. Cortland Sutton is out with the concussion. And Jerry Jeudy possibly not playing. No. Nope. Who's Stidham going to throw to? Himself? No. Denver will not win this game against the Chargers. Absolutely not. Chargers have an interim head coach. They're going to play hard for him. The Broncos are in disarray right now. Russell Wilson's benched. It's about money. I don't care what anybody says. Stidham's in the game. The Broncos don't have Cortland Sutton. They're probably not going to have Jerry Jeudy. I don't know about Benito. But the Broncos right now are an absolute mess. Absolute mess. And this is not going to be a game that the Broncos heart is going to be in it. I absolutely believe at the bottom of my heart the Broncos are not going to play hard in this game. They may look like, and they may be, stats and spurts of look like they're playing hard, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Look what they did against the Patriots. That had everything on the line to win the game. Everything on the line to put themselves in position to make the playoffs. Nope. They got down big time, guys. They were trailing big time. Do I see the Broncos winning this game? I said it before and I'll say it again. No, I do not. No, I don't. And here's the final score I'm going to give, guys, and I'm going to wrap this up because I've gone almost an hour and a half, and I really do appreciate you guys being here. Here's the final score. You ready for this? Now, Justin Herbert, granted, Justin Herbert is injured. So that does change things. That just changed things slightly. But I'm still going to give the edge to the Chargers only because the Broncos are in such disarray and the team just being shocked to their knees that Sean Payton would pull this and Russell Wilson be benched. So I'm just thinking that there's a rippling effect going through that locker room that's not a good one. So I've got this final score. The Broncos defense is going to play solid, but at some point in time, the Broncos defense is going to be on the field way too long. Way too long. Here's the final score, and I hope I'm wrong, but here's what I got. So this is what I got, guys. Chargers 23, Broncos 16. That's the score that I have for this game. I don't like it. I don't want to go there. And I know, like I mentioned just a moment ago, that Justin Herbert is not playing. I get that. Doesn't matter. The Broncos are in such disarray because of Russell Wilson's, this whole thing that's blown up this week that just happened 2 days ago on Wednesday is going to rear its ugly head come this Sunday. Once again, I have it Chargers 23, Broncos 16. I don't like it. I don't want it to be that way, but nothing else I can say, guys. I don't have confidence in what's going on right now. I really don't. And I'm not sure that Stidham's going to be any better than Russell Wilson when Russell Wilson's played this entire year. He was on a 5-game winning streak, and Stidham has played what? Clipboard? Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not buying it. Just not buying it. Hope I'm wrong. Absolutely hope I'm wrong. I just don't know. Dylan Kuhn says Surtain is out. Surtain, you mean out for the game? Patrick Surtain's out for the game? Why? I missed that. Why would Patrick Surtain be out? Or I'm hoping you're just meaning out for the game and not out for the, out of the Broncos. They're not going to trade him. Okay. Dylan Kuhn says, yeah, he's out for the game. Wow. That hurts. That hurts big time. Well, another reason why we're not going to win. We ain't got Patrick Surtain. We don't have Cortland Sutton. We probably don't have Jerry Jeudy. We don't have Russell Wilson. Holy cow. I mean, really? And people out there, and I'm going to get to you guys in chat, people out there are saying the Broncos are going to win. Okay. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. Kamani is in the house. Kamani says, Bill, sorry for my lateness. Hey, man, it's all good. It's Christmas week in between Christmas and New Year's. So you guys got things to do. You got family. You got obligations, whatever. I just appreciate you guys jumping in when you can. And also when the show is over, go on to YouTube, Facebook, wherever you watch it, and click onto it and watch it from the beginning. Really do appreciate you guys all being in chat and all your comments. It's always makes the best part of the show. Really do appreciate it. And you guys for taking your time out on a busy Friday night. Really do appreciate it. Yes, I do know about this. I forgot to mention that. Thanks to young Tyrone. Chargers wide receiver Keenan Allen is not injured. Yeah, I know. And that's not good either. If he's not injured and he's playing, then that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough again. Safety who? PJ Locke? PJ Locke is out? Or Justin Simmons? It's probably got to be PJ Locke because Kareem Jackson is now on the Houston Texans. So, holy cow, we're not going to have anybody out there. Dylan Kuhn said Justin Simmons is out too? What in heaven's name? Wait a minute. I didn't hear any of this as far as injuries go, or any reason why why they wouldn't be playing. So I got to do some research. I'm not saying that you're wrong, Dylan. I'm just saying I want to go in depth and find out what the issue is here, because this is crazy. If Sean Payton's talking about all he wants to do is win, and then we got all these people out, and he's still not putting Rusell Wilson in. No, guys, it's not about winning. It's about money and guaranteed contract that George Payton wants Rusell Wilson to relinquish, and he's not going to. He's just not gonna. All right. Riley Moss, that's a good one. Kamani says, wait a minute, hang on. I'm sorry. Let me get to, hang on, Kamani, I'll get there. Young Tyrone says, put Riley Moss out there. I agree. I like Riley Moss, but oh my gosh, I really, Justin Simmons and Patrick Surtain. Oh my gosh, man, that's a 1-2 punch we cannot afford to have out. But well, okay. Kamani says, I think we get our points on defense. Okay, you're talking about turnovers like we got last time against the Chargers, fumbles, interceptions, maybe in the special teams for kickoff returns or punt returns, that kind of thing. Okay, Dylan Kuhn says it said that Simmons is hurt from a hip injury. Oh my gosh, man. That's not good. I'm not liking this a bit, guys. I'm not liking this a bit. Well, all right, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up here. I really do once again appreciate it. It's been an hour and a half show. It's been very, very engaging. A ton of information. You guys are amazing as always. Appreciate every single one of you in the chat. I'm gonna go down the list here before I cut out of here. We got JKP. We just keep punching. In the house, Spence GC. Thank you so much, Madungus Creevy. You guys are great. Jerry Wallace. Whom else? Clayton Haran. Always awesome and always glad to have you in there. Young Tyrone, thanks so much for stopping in. Really do appreciate it. Let me keep on. Dylan Kuhn, thanks so much for your insight, for your comments. D-Rock in the house. Really do appreciate it. Thanks so much again, guys. Like I said, you guys make this show the best it ever could be. If it wasn't for you guys, it wouldn't be nearly as engaging, obviously. And you guys definitely bring out the best. Kamani says, heading out, Kamani says, love you, Bill. Enjoy you and Mike. Thanks, man. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, we'll be here Sunday. So you get definitely on tune into the Bronco neighborhood this Sunday. Young Tyrone says, I heard a couple of guys got the flu. Is that true? You know what? I didn't hear it, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's going around. I do know that quite a few people have been sick and whatnot, even where I work at the golf course and things like that. So I do know that it's going around, so that would not surprise, especially in the locker room. I mean, you're right next to guys all the time, so that doesn't surprise me. Kamani says, when it rains, it pours. Yeah, no kidding. No freaking kidding, man. It's been one of those seasons. It's just been one of those seasons. All right, guys, before I get out of here, I just want everybody to know that I hope everybody out there has a wonderful, safe, emphasize on the word safe, wonderful, safe, enjoyable, cheerful New Year's Eve. Guys, stay safe, stay out of trouble. Don't do anything crazy. I want to see you guys back here for my next show on Monday. Actually, Monday would be New Year's. I'm not sure if I'm doing that on New Year's Day. You know what? I think I will. Why not? I'll do the Elevation Orange recap of the Bronco Charger game from Sunday. So if I'm not here on Monday, I'll check it out with Madungus Creevy. If not, I'll definitely be here on Friday, Broncos Breakdown, the first Broncos Breakdown of 2024. And let's hope it's after a Broncos win. I hope my prediction is wrong. So in any case, guys, I want you to be safe. I want you to have a happy New Year. And guys, until next Friday, Broncos Breakdown, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 6, 7, and 8 Mountain, Central, and Eastern time zone. You guys are the best. Love you guys. Be safe. We will talk to you on the Broncos neighborhood, as well as hopefully on Elevation Orange this coming Monday. Dylan wraps it up with the final comment. Don't do something that Bill would do. Yeah, probably right, guys. Don't do something I would do, which is go to bed at 9 o'clock after I watch the ball drop in New York because I ain't staying up till midnight. That's what I would do. And that's what I've done for the last several years. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not, please do so. It costs you nothing. It helps out the chat. It helps It helps out the show. It helps out the network. Really do appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up. That's the best way to let everybody else know that you guys like the show. And it does wonders for the viewership. Really do appreciate it. Both of those cost nothing except a mere click of the mouse on top of the subscribe button and the thumbs up button. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Friday evening and the rest of your weekend. Once again, guys, be safe out there on New Year's Eve. And I will talk to you next Broncos breakdown next Friday, first one of 2024. Till then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.